Redditors that work jobs most people don't know exist. What is it and how do people react when you tell them your job? I was an enucleator. When people passed and wanted to donate their corneas, I would retrieve their eyes from their body and take them to the lab to process for transplant. When people found that out, they were either completely grossed out or thought it was really interesting. Train controller. People ask me if I drive trains. I am in the habit now of just preempting people and saying, it is like air traffic control, but for the rail network. In the USA, I believe it is called train dispatch. People are generally sort of impressed and want to ask questions about the railway. I work on a truck doing simulated emergencies with high-fidelity mannequins. The mannequins have pulses, they breathe, you can listen to lung sounds, and their eyes move back and forth. We take the truck to fire departments and critical access hospitals in our state to provide emergency training at no cost to the fire departments and hospitals. There are only 5 states that I know of in the nation that do this training. Once upon a time I worked at a Borsted. I got hired in the lab preserving semen for sale. Dull, morning Hitachi work staring at semen under a microscope. Viewed the shed often needed help collecting semen and a fun, well-paying, easy job. Go get the pig, get him to mount, grab a penis and then nap as they ejaculate for 10 to 15 minutes. Repeat. I got paid $27 an hour to sit on a stool and hold a curly penis 3 days a week. I now work 6 to 7 days, collect blood samples, monitor surgery, take phones, do inventory and handle angry clients with a smile for $16 as a vet tech. If you've got the guts, consider pig wanker. Not me, but a longtime friend of my dad's was a professional carbonated beverage pourer. Spell check's not happy with pourer, is it poorest? Pourmaster? It was for claw-soup shots, mostly for commercials for sodas or beers, and sometimes for movies or TV shows. At one point I asked my dad, not wanting to be rude to the guy, is that one of those jobs where some studio exec just picks one of their buddies to get paid a salary for basically nothing? According to my dad, this was not the case. Apparently it was very specialized, precision work. They'd be like, okay, we need a 5-second pour with a 1-inch head that settles into a 3/4 head in 2 seconds, and he could make it happen. Mistakes were a big deal because studio time's expensive. If he messed up too many times one of the crew would be drunk, etc. As a kid I always imagined this guy at work to look like someone defusing a bomb or something. Dramatic music, everyone staring anxiously, bead of sweat on the forehead, etc. As far as I know, that imagining is completely accurate. I had a brief stint as a junior cheese evaluator. People loved hearing about the cheese tasting part, but what is less known is the business analytics side of things. We have to know what good cheese is and what consumer tastes are like, and how to influence those tastes to make room for company products that maximize profits for the cheesemaker and retailer. There's a whole national certification exam I was studying for before I decided to take a drastic career shift because the whole cheese thing wasn't paying the bills and it was too much work holding down 3 jobs. I produce subtitles for TV and now for online learning at a university. It's been amazing how many people have thought that either A computer does it or B, I'm a sign language interpreter. I was also a teleprompter auto cue operator for a while when I first left uni, and it was one of the best jobs I've had. Though again, people thought a computer did it. And I've had likes of actors literally laugh in my face because they consider it beneath the lowest of the low apparently, until it breaks. A friend of mine is a harbor pilot. Brings huge ships in and out of harbors. Makes mid-6 figures. A lot of boredom with high stress in the middle. I make coupons on the back of receipts. You know that Mexican place coupon on the back of the Kroger receipt? You're welcome. Compliance engineer. Weird mix of engineering, procurement, manufacturing, marketing and legal. To make things short, I ensure products are safe both for our consumers and the environment. Chimney sweep. Usual reaction. That's still a thing? I'm an operations manager for the Blue Man Group show. A lot of people don't realize how many people it takes behind the scenes to put on that show. Not me, but a blind date I was set up on years ago. Doing the usual small talk, she said she worked for the court system. When someone was sentenced to community service, they had to report to her, and she's find them a job that would meet the requirements of their community service and then supervise them through their sentence. She prided herself in her success in that job. When she'd tell someone that their sentence was up, they'd frequently reply with, "Oh, well, I kinda like this job. Is there any way I can keep it?" I'm a procurement officer for an airline. I order parts for planes. No one seems to realize my job exists, but everyone gets it when I tell them what I do. Reaction is generally, "Wow, that's so cool." In reality, I raise purchase orders all day. But it's pretty cool to wander out to the hangar when a plane is in. Not me, but one of my best friend's husband's job was to read Bill Gates' mail with the intent to prevent crazy people from showing up at the Microsoft campus, demanding to speak with him. Archivist. I work with historical documents in an archives. Most people say they don't know what an archivist is. I always have to explain. It gets confused with archaeologist, librarian, museum curator, architect to what usually even after I explain people are still confused. Sometimes I consider saying that I do something else just to make it easier for people. And on a Tinder date with a gal who did a certain kind of set decoration for TV shows. When something is filmed on location in a house or office or whatever, she not only had to make things look nice, but travel far and wide to find pictures and objects that could be used without running the risk of copyright infringement. I'm a life model full-time. I'm that nude person that sits, stands, poses for drawing, painting, sculpture, art classes. I usually just tell people I'm a model and leave it at that, but if they ask for details, then I'll explain. Usually they are curious or mention their experiences in life drawing classes or talk about their distant relative friend who's an artist and uses nude models. It's a very physical job and takes concentration and effort to stay still and pretend to be a sort of living statue. You know those penny smasher machines that they have at tourist spots? You put a penny and 2 quarters in the machine and then turn the crank and it presses a design into the penny? I maintain and operate a bunch of those around the city. Also a few Zolters. I do arcade games too, but the penny machines are even weirder. A lot of people don't know that most coin-operated machines aren't owned by the store in which they reside. So there are lots of operators that have all sorts of machines which they place and maintain, and generally you split the revenue with the location owner. Not me, but when I was a hostess at a steakhouse, we had a guy who would come in on weekends when it was busy and walk around making balloon animals for people for tips. Some nights he made more than the servers, who also tipped him for balloons. He would make a really cute flower bracelet we could wear. He made some really cool shit. Thank you for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment which is your favorite and be sure to like and subscribe for future videos. Woof.